Hi, myself Dr. Shankar Basu. I'm affiliated to Ashutosh College under University of Calcutta, Kolkata, and I'm also an external scientific collaborator at the 3 Bio Group, ULB Brussels, Belgium. My major area of research and teaching is computational biology and biophysics, which you also may call bioinformatics. So I choose a topic from elementary physics. I think you all be benefited and enjoy the topic. Hope so. So it's called Van der Waals forces and the Van der Waals interaction of atoms, which was attributed to Johannes T. Van der Waals, who got the 1910 Nobel Prize in Physics for his legendary work on the equation of state for gases and liquids. So Van der Waals interaction describes the minimal covalent interaction that may act between closely approaching atoms, atomic pairs, or a collection of atoms for that matter, but irrespective of their polarity or irrespective of the difference in their electronegativity. So the same atom, for example, two hydrogen atoms, can also have a Van der Waals interaction when they're within a certain range. So the force originates from dispersion effects attributed to electron clouds. As we all know, electrons are wave in nature, that's their true nature, so they are clouds, so they get dispersed around the nucleus depending on the atomic environment. It is in a true sense also electrostatic in nature, and it requires the formation of induced dipoles. So when there is a close proximity of these atoms, attraction and repulsion is felt on one atom due to the other atom, and that causes this dispersion and formation of induced dipoles. Therefore, it is imperative that it has to be short range in nature, so it describes local interaction. If you take away the atoms, then there would not be any such Van der Waals interaction. It leads to features like shape complementarity of interacting molecular surfaces, for example. So now let's take the simplest case, simple example of two hydrogen atoms. As you can see, there are two nucleuses and there are two electrons. These are, of course, 1s1 electrons, and of course they are clouds, and due to their close proximity, there is an attraction between the electron cloud of one atom and the nucleus of the other atom, and that causes these dumbbell shaped induced dipole formation. So actually there are two attractive terms between the opposite charges and two repulsive terms between the like charges, and cumulatively they contribute to either an attraction or repulsion, which is the entire description of Van der Waals interaction. So when the atoms are far apart, for example in ideal gases or also in real gases with the ideal approximation, the electron clouds are symmetrically distributed around the nucleus, and when they come close, as I already said, there is an attraction between a nucleus of one atom and the electron cloud of the other atom. So in reality, the Van der Waals interaction actually prevails in a system of atoms, system of molecules, and also large macromolecular systems. So to reveal its true spirit, true nature, we must account of multiple interactions. But for simplicity, we take the simple example of two atoms and two hydrogens, because that's the simplest one can imagine. So now if we place one hydrogen atom here on the leftmost of the coordinate frame here and bring close this other atom gradually, then what would be the nature of the potential that is described by this equation called the Lennard-Jones equation? We extended and formulated the potential for acting for Van der Waals interaction and Van der Waals force. As you can see, there is a repulsive component which has a plus sign and an attractive component which is a minus sign. The attractive component varies inversely with the sixth power with the distance, and the repulsive term varies inversely with the 12th power. And as you can see here, the attractive term can be derived from first principle from the induced dipole interaction, but the repulsive term is purely empirical or sometimes semi-empirical. People have also used other exponents and found some results. So that makes this potential drop as a function of R as you approach more close and close to the other hydrogen atom, which is static, but to a certain extent, which we call the Van der Waals distance of these two atom pairs, or also the Van der Waals radius of one individual atom. So if we keep increasing the proximity of these two atoms, then one atom will fall on the top of the other atom, there will be steady clash, which we call short contacts, and there will be repulsion. So that's what is described in this diagram. And the opposite signs attributed to the component terms collectively makes the transition from attraction to repulsion. So there are many applications of the van der Waals interaction. You can derive the van der Waals radii of different atom types, which will depend on the atom type itself and also on the hybridization. For example, a sp3 hybridized carbon has a van der Waals radii of 1.9 angstrom. So a C alpha van der Waals distance will be of 3.8 angstrom. There is also extended application for structural bioinformatics, where you can compute the shape correlation between interacting molecular surfaces, interacting protein surfaces, for example, which is also a resultant of the van der Waals interaction. There are real-life or macroscopic instances of van der Waals forces. For example, a gecko climbing a glass, or rainwater flux from a canopy, or if you want to clean your speck without forming scratches with a microfiber cloth. All these are instances of van der Waals interaction. And even distant analogies we cannot overlook in our social interactions, social context. So if we often we encounter people where we come close and get to know each other better, we feel attraction towards that person, but after a certain point we feel that we have unfortunately crossed a line which was not to be crossed, and it causes apathy and aversion and all kinds of negative feelings. Same phenomenon that happens within the atoms. That's very much it. That's what I wanted to cover. If you have any queries and suggestions, kindly write to me at my email address given here, and all of you are welcome to visit my homepage. Thank you so much.